Welcome back, guys, to part 20. I found her on the canteen porch. By that time, the sun had nearly disappeared behind the horizon. "You came back after all," she began. "Olga, could you tell me honestly who told you about it? I've just spoken to Alyssa. It's not her. Yolana wouldn't do it herself, so who?" In fact, I myself didn't realize why I needed to know this. Initially, I was just mad at Alyssa, but now, well, she hesitated. Some strange girl. But this still doesn't... a strange girl. Well, yes, not from our camp it seemed. "Why did she tell you about this?" "How should I know?" "Olga, but this is..." Took in a deep breath and turned away. Just why does she have to obviously lie? Although maybe she is trying to protect somebody? Let's say... Damn, I cannot even imagine. Alright, I said quietly and walked briskly away from the canteen. I had absolutely no desire to continue listening to Olga's stupid lies. Our so-called camp leader. I walked aimlessly, completely lost in thought. "Are you on guard duty?" I heard a cheerful voice from behind. It was Yolana. Nothing special, just... Seems like there was no chance of finding out who Olga's informer was, and yesterday's incident was hushed by somehow, so I decided not to think about it. "And what do you have planned for the evening?" "Nothing, I guess." After all my frantic attempts to uncover the truth, I felt some inexplicable guilt before Alyssa and Yolana. What exactly the guilt before Yolana was about was completely unclear, though.
"Then I have a suggestion."
"What is it?"
"I brought a video cassette from home."
Her eyes flashed conspiratorially, and I couldn't even remember when the last time I had watched or heard something recorded on cassette was.
"With a cool movie on it."
Where would we get a VCR here? This world came to me from the past, and I decided to test whether my guesses about which time period I had been placed in were right.
"It's a cybernetics club, of course."
"There's nothing there," I said confidently.
"What about the back room?"
She was right. It could be there. Well, maybe. But anyway, it's too late and everything is closed. The strange feeling of guilt I felt in front of Yolana wasn't giving me a chance to refuse immediately.
"We can get in there through the window."
She grinned mischievously. "Well, you know,"
"Maybe you're right. Wish we could get a key."
mused Yolana. But I had one in my pocket, and I just remembered about it. Now that you mention it, yes, I've got a key. Next time I'd better think before I speak.
"That's good. Then I'll quickly run to get the tape. You wait here and I'll be right back."
She disappeared before I could even open my mouth. It's strange that she wasn't surprised that the key to the Cybernetics Club mysteriously happened to be in my pocket at the right place and the right time. You know, it's kind of odd that out of all the things we did, we didn't go just apologize to Alyssa. We were kind of in the wrong there. And I didn't remember we were in the wrong. But in any case, I have to decide what to do next. The most right and logical thing would be to not go anywhere with her. But my guilt got to me. Though it seems to me that there could be nothing criminal in watching a movie with her. But on the other hand, with Yolana, even the most harmless things can turn into a three-ring circus. At the very least, I was already starting to forget about what had happened this evening, about my frantic attempts to get the truth from Alyssa and Olga. In just a couple of minutes she returned.
"Having second thoughts?"
I looked at Yolana and felt a bit uncomfortable.
"Are we going?"
"Listen, you know, your ideas are, let's say, not entirely safe. And in the end, everything will end badly again."
"Are you scared?"
"No, I'm not. I'm just a grown man, and I'm not interested in such games."
"Grown man?"
She laughed. Indeed, I forgot that I looked 17 at most.
"What makes you think so?"
It's really hard to accept, but I had nothing to say to that. Thinking about it, the whole time I spent here, I did not display any particular forethought, nor life experience, nor cold, balanced assessment of the situation. Though the question is, Did I ever show those in that life? And in fact, even if I think, I would recall some examples, of course, but okay, let's go. I was so offended by Yolana's words that I asked, "And what is a grown man in your opinion?"
One who is responsible for his actions. One who does not do anything without thinking about the consequences. A person who is capable of taking good care, not only of himself, but also of others.
And all that doesn't describe you, that's for sure. I tried to laugh it off. Well, she's not a man,
I'm not pretending to be like that anyway.
grinned Yolana. Yes, she was absolutely right. I do not possess any of those qualities, but I always thought that not being 17 is all that's required. It seems that in general there is no difference between me and other people, and if I wish, I could be exactly like they are. Is that all wrong? In fact, no, because in this camp I tried to behave in a most logical, sensible, and proper way, like an adult. But if even Yolana says differently, then how can I get out of here? We went in. It took some time for Yolana to find the light switch.
Presto!
Well done, bravo. I exaggeratedly clapped my hands.
Hey, stop making fun of me.
She pouted. Okay, what's next?
Here.
Yolana went up to the door to the second room, hesitated for a moment, and pushed it open. There wasn't much space inside. Seemed more like this room was used for storage. Boxes piled on top of each other had formed, some of Alps in miniature. Various devices scattered here and there reminded me of the chaotic brainstorm raging in a head of a scientist. Bookshelves on the far wall made it clear that this was not a simple storage for unused junk. To my right there was a TV set with a video player sitting next to it. Interestingly, they were not Soviet. I'd bet they were Japanese. Miku probably brought it. At least going by their appearance. Not very surprising. In those days, or more accurately for me these days, imports already existed.
What did I tell you?
Yolana smiled triumphantly. Yeah.
Have you seen anything like that before?
I have. Perhaps I've got a VCR too. Probably it's lying somewhere on the mezzanine of my house.
Seems like you're not surprised at all.
Why should I be surprised?
A Japanese TV set, a video player. You look like you often see such things.
Not too often lately, I agreed lazily.
You are so gloomy. Nevertheless, okay, take it.
She handed me a cassette. I turned it over in my hands, but did not find any sticker or labels on it. So, what's on it?
I don't know exactly,
mused Yolana.
but I'm sure it's something very interesting.
Soon, the logo of a well-known American film company appeared on the screen.
Here, watch!
Yolana even started fidgeting impatiently. I'm watching. A few minutes later, I realized that the tape contained a famous film from the 80s. It was about a robot from the future sent to kill someone in the past, so in the years in between a hero wouldn't be born. Oh! I don't know what movie that could be. It couldn't be Terminator, could it? Interesting coincidence. You could say I was sent from the future, too. So what, my mission is to kill someone from among the local residents? I could not help laughing.
What's so funny?
Yolanda looked at me reproachfully. Oh no, nothing.
Seems as if you don't like the movie.
The movie's alright. I've seen it several times.
How can that be?
Her eyes widened in surprise. Well, my friend gave me a cassette. Yolanda stared intently at me. Anyway, keep watching. I pointed at the screen. When the film was about halfway through, I heard someone trying to open the front door. It is said that when a person has one of their senses weakened, the others are amplified. I was quite blind but could hear perfectly. Lights off, I whispered.
What?
Turn off the lights. Yolanda realized that this wasn't the time to argue with me and rushed to the switch. Meanwhile, I pressed the pause button. I heard footsteps in the other room and saw a flashlight flicker under the door. Wonder who decided to sneak into the cybernetics club at night? They're not here. It was the voice of Olga. Soon the front door slammed shut and I sighed with relief. See that? Again, that's because of you.
What?
Ilana stared at me in surprise. Why else would she come here at night? She's definitely searching for us. Alyssa likely doesn't care about your absence, but I'm registered at the camp leader's cabin. She thought for a while.
Well, so what?
So what? Why are you constantly looking for trouble? It's almost as if you like it.
It's more fun that way.
Is it fun when you constantly are scolded and punished?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
She laughed merrily. Eventually, there are also rules. Well, up until now, you have evaded serious consequences. But who knows what could happen next? Could all end badly.
You grumble like a granny,
she said, offended. And who said recently that I could not be called an adult?
Forget it. Let's finish the movie.
I decided not to argue with her. In the end, we are already on Olga's list, and an hour later, an hour earlier, does it really matter? At each scary scene, Yolanda jumped, screamed me, and grabbed me by the hand. Blech. I was not so keen on the film, but still pretended that I was also interested. Apart from the evil robot, there was a good man sent from the future to prevent his evil deeds. Maybe I'm not here with the goal of becoming a ruthless killing machine, but on the contrary, to change or prevent something. To prevent some event, for example, or to stop someone from some wrongdoing. The analogy is fairly interesting, but is not based on any real facts. I don't have a shotgun in my hands, I'm not wearing a leather jacket, and I haven't got a motorcycle to ride. I don't even have sunglasses.
Look, look!
The next chase with shooting and the destruction of various types of wheeled and propelled vehicles was unfolding on the screen. Do you think the good guy will win? Of course I knew the answer.
Obviously. Good guys always triumph,
she said seriously. If we consider that Yolanda often succeeded in her silly ventures, the meaning of the word good gets seriously twisted.
Wait, but you've already watched it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know your opinion. Soon the film came to an end. During the final scenes, Yolanda ran around the room, trying to get a better view of everything happening on the screen without missing anything.
Huh.
She gasped with relief when the ending credits started. Liked it?
You need to ask? Of course.
That's good.
And I can see you didn't really.
She squinted slyly. Well, it's a film for kids after all. Not particularly.
Really?
Well, yeah, so what?
Nothing.
She yawned and sat on the floor with her back against a pile of boxes. It's probably time to go to sleep.
I'm tired and I won't go anywhere.
As you wish. I'd better go then.
Hey, wait!
Yolanda immediately jumped up and grabbed me by the hand.
Will you leave me all alone?
Well, if you want, should I carry you to your cabin? I said uncertainly. In the end, I was already experienced at that.
No, I want to sleep here.
She rummaged in the box next to her and pulled out some sort of blankets and pillows. Again the same story. I sighed. Just think, Olga is already looking for us, and if we spend all night here...
Well, firstly, she's looking for you. That has nothing to do with me,
laughed Yolanda. Even if that's so, then you'll get caught too.
What makes you say that? And even if I do get caught, that's okay, I'm used to it.
Why are you so stubborn? It's only a couple of 100 meters to your cabin. As well as that, you couldn't say that Yolanda was completely exhausted.
I'm so tired.
She wrapped herself in a blanket, turned away from me, and began to diligently fake loud snores. Okay, then see you tomorrow. I tried to leave, but Yolanda grabbed my hand again. Well, now what? She didn't say anything. She looked as if I'd scared her. Right then, what I should do was completely unclear. Our little cassette adventure was idiotic from the beginning, but now it was beyond my comprehension. I had no idea what the logic behind her actions was, what the meaning and motivation was. However, despite all this, I couldn't firmly say no. Something stopped me. Maybe a sense of duty or pity, or the patience which must be shown when communicating with children. Okay, what do you want from me?
Go to sleep with me.
Seems like I've seen it somewhere already. Well, let's assume. I turned off the light and nestled beside her. Good thing it was summer too, otherwise sleeping on the wooden floor would not be the best idea. That does not look very comfortable at all. And that floor doesn't look like wood. I feel lied to. Betrayed. Bunch of betrayers. The lack of a mattress is not even worth mentioning.
Why did you agree so easily?
I could hear resentment in her voice. You asked, so I did. In fact, I was completely convinced that Yulana would fall asleep quickly as always and carry her to her cabin. Basically, it's a good plan, despite the fact that I will again serve as a beast of burden.
Hey, talk me.
Just sleep. You're the one who wanted to.
Just talk.
About what?
Tell me something interesting about yourself. Funny stories from your life.
My life is not that action-packed.
Nothing to recall at all?
Even if I had something, telling her was not the best idea. Nothing at all.
It can't be that bad.
I turned to Yulana. She was lying with her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. It can't, trust me.
But that's so boring.
From time to time. She was silent for a while and then smiled and said,
To hear you had fun?
Oh, that's true. I laughed.
Will you remember this camp?
First I need to get out of here. Of course I will.
And the others?
I will.
And me?
And you? I said it all with an absolutely even tone and, to be honest, without really thinking about the meaning of her questions.
And I will,
whispered Yulana. Immediately I felt her head dropping on my chest and her hand wrapping around my neck. Comfortable?
Yeah.
She murmured. You haven't found a better place? She shook her head slightly. Well, let her lie like that. In the end, maybe she'll fall asleep faster. Probably no more than 5 minutes passed before I decided to check on her and lightly tugged on her shoulder.
What?
She asked without looking up. I noticed an unusual note in her voice. Why aren't you sleeping?
Look who's talking.
Time was passing treacherously slowly. I decided to wait at least another 10 minutes before the next time I checked. But the seconds seemed to be hours. My eyes began to slowly close. I struggled to stay awake. I blinked for a moment and woke up, only to realize that my state was close to unconsciousness. Maybe just close your eyes for a minute. What's so terrible about that? The thought flashed through my head, and immediately I drifted off. Well, I guess we'll wake up on day 7, which is the end of the game, I think. Yep. Hey! I told you not to be in this screen! Get out! You're not allowed here. There are probably worse things in life than falling asleep while being cuddled by a little girl. And now the doors open and armed men leap towards us. Can't make out what they're screaming, but their intentions are clearly far from good. Nah, I'm not scared at all. Rather, I'm embarrassed or even ashamed. When I opened my eyes, it took me some time to realize where exactly I was. It was dark in here. Only a dim light was gleaming under the door. Why do they make storage rooms without windows? Although obviously that's the way it should be, but why on earth would anyone bring a TV set and a VCR in here then? I cursed the architects of this building in my mind and shook Yulana by her shoulder. Come on, get up now. She stretched, and as we were lying together, I could see her sleepy eyes even in the dark.
What? Let me sleep.
Yulana tried to turn away, but I firmly grabbed her shoulders with my hand. I don't know what time it is, but regardless, it would be smart for us to get out of here.
Not now, later.
She whispered, half asleep. I said wake up, come on. I jumped up and easily pulled her to her feet. Moaned Yulana with frustration in her voice. I started to look for the light switch, but then suddenly heard footsteps outside the door. My heart sank. Why so early?
We have a truckload of work to do. No time to waste. You know that we have to do it all before the departure.
Alright, fine. Looks like our 2 amped up cybernetics are paying a visit to the clubhouse before the break of dawn today. Shush! I whispered to Yulana.
And what's the...
She didn't manage to finish her sentence as I silenced her with my hand. Well, I understand all that, but we might at least have waited until after breakfast.
Oh, do you have something else to do?
Not really. I heard some hesitation in Electronic's voice.
Sure you don't want to head off to the library bright and early again?
Hadn't the slightest intention, he replied fretfully.
Oh yeah, sure, if you say so.
Soon, the work kicked off behind the door. I could hear hammer strikes, machines rattling, and Electronics buzzing. Electronic and Chirk were discussing their own matters, so I wasn't paying much attention. I was more interested in knowing when they'll finally leave the building. Rather soon, breakfast time is coming. But if we take Shirk's passion into consideration...
Let go of me.
Yolanda finally wrestled her way out, but didn't raise her voice after all.
Why can't we just leave?
I'm gonna end the part there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.